Now, I've had Franken Yak for a year, and I've been doing enough of this, so I figured it was okay to invest a little money, and I got a Humminbird fish finder. This is some new additions I'm going to run you through right now. That is the actual mount for the fish finder, and I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to mount this at first, so I basically took, this is a piece of 2x6 treated, and I cut it down so it would fit in this channel, and then I used silicone, and I glued this down using silicone. Then, using the screws provided, went ahead, mounted the bracket right here for the Humminbird, screwed it in, and it sits in there nice and snug. Now my power cable here, and the control cable for the transducer, I drilled through using I think it was about a 3/8 or 7/16 inch bit, and then I just siliconed those up, and I haven't had any water leakage. I went ahead and zip tied them, gives a little bit more support right here, so when that goes on I can pop them into place real easy. There you have it, ready to go. This right here, I use that as a sun shield so that I can see a little bit better. That's just got black duct tape on it that holds it in place. I cut that out of a 1-gallon container, and that was one of the corner pieces of the container. Probably went something like that, and just spray painted it black. It's worked great. When I put this Humminbird on, well, that meant I had a battery now. And I said, well, it would be cool to have some lights. I've seen lots of people putting lights on, and I went ahead and got some of the LEDs. Now, I meant to get a green LED for this side, and I thought I was getting a green LED package. Well, I got home, I didn't have a green LED package, so I have white lights on this side. And this went on same way, screwed it in, used a nice silicone, and mounted it right there, and then I got another one, a green one for the other side. So this is the one right here, the other side. This one's actually green. And I grabbed some little switches, and I mounted those switches, and I mounted them so that forward would be off. And I figured I'll probably kick those things over and over again with my feet, and if off is forward, I won't inadvertently turn them on and run down my battery. But you flip that, and there you go. Alright, here's all these wires. This right here happens to be a 1-gallon container, and I put it in and I used silicone once again, and I siliconed it to the bottom of the Kayak. Now, it was on there for a long time, and I made a mistake a while back. I went out to a fishing spot and I left the battery in here, and I don't usually do it with the battery in here. Well, the weight of the battery bouncing around tore this loose, tore this container loose. So that's why you see it's been re-siliconed in, and I got the tape on there. That tape is still, it completely dries. This right here is a bus strip, and I got that at Lowe's, and what it allowed me to do was to take the power from the battery, my positive, my negative, and put them in right here. So here's the positive going in, and here's the negative going in. Well, you see at this point I used little jumpers, and I jumped over to here with a positive, and then right here I jumped over so that all three of these had ground, and that allowed me to put connections for the Humminbird, put connections for the lights, both of them, and I went ahead and screwed that in there, did a little silicone on that. I had to use a cork because these poked through. You can see that one's broken. The cork kept the screw head from banging into the battery. Here's the hole in the screws right there for the lights. And there is the transducer. The transducer I had on the outside for a long time because I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And what I would do is I would stick it up through the scupper hole right here. I had a piece of PVC that attached to that with a screw, and I'll go ahead and show you that. But what I found out online was if you decide to silicone your transducer in the boat, make sure there's no air bubbles between the transducer and the hull of the kayak, and it'll work great. And it has. It's worked wonderfully. So these are the upgrades underneath, and this has been the evolution of my poor man's kayak to, hey, this is getting kind of fun. Let's do a little bit of little bitty investments to make it even funner. My whole goal is to simplify things to make it easy for me. That's everything I do is like, okay, I want to be able to get this immediately. I don't want it to tangle up on anything. I want it in the same spot. I want it to work as well as I can, and I want to do it without spending a bunch of money. Let me go ahead and show you how I originally had the transducer hooked up. I had that transducer body mounted right here in this piece of PVC. This is 3/4 inch PVC, and this was a 3/4 inch slip coupler glued on. I used a Dremel tool to notch it out so that that little flanged portion that you saw in the transducer would slide up in there. And then this is the hardware right here that came with that transducer to mount it. And what I did was I ran the wire up through here, and every time I wanted to utilize the Humminbird, I would take the wire and I would run the wire up through the scupper hole. From down up here, I'd pull out all the slack and then I'd plug it in. And I would hold the transducer in place, because when this part would come through, that was sticking up. Transducer was now mounted to the bottom of the boat. It would have been mounted right there. Would have been facing like that. And I did that for quite a while. What I ran into was when I was in shallow water, or if I had to get out and drag the kayak over something, that transducer was going to get hit. And if I took the transducer out real fast, even having the cable looping through and having the transducer like laying right in here with this cable coming through, that cable would be grabbed and pulled along the bottom of the kayak if the water was real shallow or I was dragging across the sand. Got tired of it and figured I'll make the commitment, and I will mount it inside like you saw me do, and it's worked great. And using silicone, with silicone you can take things off. You can clean that silicone. Using silicone, you can just take things off. You can clean that silicone off, remount it wherever you want. Well, all right, y'all. There's Franken Yak. I run you down all the stuff that I've done to it. I got a lot of little things that I do here and there, but it would take up too much time for this video. We'll do that some other time. You guys let me know what you think. Got a few battle scars, but Franken Yak is still getting the job done. There you go. Thanks for watching. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.